Hello, my name is Richard Garay from richardgaray.com, here with the tip of the day brought to you by Scrapbook Expo. In this particular tip, I'm going to show you how to use the fringe die to create a fun weaving technique for your projects. Now, you may have seen the fringe die. It was launched a little bit ago through my Celebrations collection through Spellbinders. So this is what the fringe die looks like, and I'm going to be using a variety of Celebrations product to create this project. So I'm going to show you how I quickly run my fringe die. Now, the fringe die does not have cuts on the ends. It's basically going to create the fringe and the fringe only, so that if you wanted to continue the fringe, you could actually do so. I'm going to bring this through a piece of white cardstock all the way to the end, so it's going to create that cut for me on the one side, and then I simply have to just trim the other end. So, bringing it into my Journey Platinum machine here, my cut plate, and I'll run it through, and it's going to create that fringe for me. So we've got all of the fringed elements. So what we mean by fringe is you've got all of these adorable little fringed pieces. So on the one side, I'm going to use to go ahead and weave my cardstock through it, but the other side is going to become that space for me to be able to create a bloom. So I'm going to trim. There's a border in the center here. And now I've got all my fringe pieces. Now if you wanted a smaller bloom, you simply cut your fringe down. You do not need to create blooms that are larger than that for this project. So you can trim your fringe down, simply separate them. See how we've created a larger bloom, and this one's going to be a smaller one. I'm simply just going to roll this up all the way down, all the way down. And once I get to the end, I'll adhere it with some craft glue onto my project, open up all of the fringe elements to create that fun bloom for my project. So notice how this one's a lot smaller because we trimmed the edges of the fringe. So we've got a large and a small. We're going to set those aside. And of course, we've got our fringe piece. So our fringe piece, just by creating some cut pieces of scrap cardstock, I'm going to come in and I'm going to start weaving my cardstock. Super simple to weave through. Now you can always start also at the end and bring it down once you've positioned it. And you can do as many colors as you'd like. I'm using 3 colors here. Can't see. So you're going to be weaving and weaving and weaving all the way through. So you're going to have that. And then of course you want to change the color. When you change your color, you're just going to go opposite of what you have started. And you just create a fun little border here for your project. So you see how that's coming together? Let me give you a little bit of a close-up here. So you start weaving all of your colors through the fringed element. Come back and add a 3rd color or even a 4th color if you'd like. Now if you wanted to create a larger fringe, you can also marry those two together so that you have a bigger border. But you kind of get the idea here. I'm going to set this aside. I'm going to bring in another piece of white cardstock, and using the Celebrations Pixie Play, Captivating Coral, and Totally Tangerine, I'm going to create a fun border using the stamp set that has all of our words and images on there. And I'm just going to come in and I'm going to stamp in a variety of spots to create a fun background for my project. Now this one's called Many Words Stamp Set. Let me show you my finished project with all the adorable weaving of the fringe die, as well as of course my blooms and some of the accents to be able to add to the center of that. I did add a little bit of the silk to this, and then of course we've got all of our fun celebrate background here to be able to create that fun celebration. So I hope you're inspired by this project, and I hope that you're going to go out there and give that fringe weaving a try. And again, remember to visit us at richardgaray.com for more project tips and inspiration. And I hope you enjoyed this tip of the day brought to you by Scrapbook Expo.